Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Owner's Box. Welcome back, I should say. We took a little break after the Del Mar meet. We are back in action today. I'm Billy Koch, I'm the founder and managing partner of Little Red Feather Racing Club, joining me alongside, as always, with her matching green,
Oh, look
orange,
at
green, I just
that.
said green, iPhone, iWatch is Michelle Yu. Michelle, how has been your little break?
I don't feel like we had a break. Did we really have a break? Did we
I felt
miss
like it was,
any
well, I
time?
don't have a break. I went right to Keeneland.
Yeah, I
Then I
don't think
came
you did it
home.
from Keeneland. I don't think we had a break.
Yeah, we've had a break from the show for a couple weeks, but I don't think you and I have really
I
had a
don't think
break.
so, because we did the show from Keeneland, right? Because we had,
Oh, that's right. I forgot we did the show from
yeah,
Keeneland.
I'm telling you, we did not do a break. We were supposed to have a break,
Right.
and then there was just too much going on.
Too much going on. Yeah. And
So
Pete is very mad at us. Our whatever he is. What is Pete called? Like the who
he's like the
runs
founder and managing partner
of
of
In the
In the
Money
Money
Media
Media.
Network. He's very mad at us because we have failed him. But other than that, we're doing great. And we have Pete Rotondo coming on today. Pete is always fun to talk to. There is a big, big day at Santa Anita on Saturday. It is called the California Crown. We're going to get into it with Pete. We're going to talk about the origins, the ideas, and then we'll talk a little bit about the fields because his wife is a banger of a handicapper.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, we crushed the Pick Five on Preakness Day, and we plan on doing it again on California Crown Day, which is Saturday. So, before Pete joins us, probably in about 5 or 6 minutes, what is going on in the world of horse racing, Michelle? Anything? I saw
So
one thing. I got one thing of note that I just read on Twitter right before we jumped on.
oh,
That
well, start with that. It's breaking news.
Adair Manor has retired.
Oh,
Yes,
I have not been on Twitter today.
yes, Adair Manor has retired.
Billy?
I broke the news to you. According to Bob Baffert, she retires sound, and the timing was just wrong, which sounds strange to me because she could have run in this race next weekend,
Yeah.
uh, and she could have run in the Breeders' Cup because she's selling at the Facing Tipton Night of the Stars. Maybe they couldn't find a plane to get her from.
No. No,
Cal-
now, see,
what?
you misread.
Okay.
She is retiring healthy.
Mm.
It doesn't necessarily say
Great
sound,
sound. Okay, so
right?
maybe something went wrong, and she's not sound or totally sound, or he didn't want to take any chance.
Although it says she will remain in light training until the sale,
Right there, you go.
which is
So,
weird. So,
so that kind of puts a damper on the Zenyatta. That probably makes it wide open. I hope some
mm,
horses come out here for the Zenyatta Stakes, not this weekend, but next weekend.
it is this weekend, isn't it Sunday?
Oh, is it? Is it Sunday?
I thought it was
Oh, it
this
might be
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, you might be right. I
Okay.
was going to grab my condition book here and look. Just to
Okay.
make
I
sure.
think it's Sunday, but I could be wrong because I haven't looked yet.
The Zenyatta is Sunday, September 29th. You are correct.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing was just a lot of sales wrapping up. We had the Keeneland sale, which was unreal. And then
Unreal.
we had the Calbred sale, which I didn't see overall, like if they were up or down, but looking at the quality of horses in there, I felt like it was a really good sale.
That's good for California. We need that.
Yep.
And of
You didn't
course,
buy it. Billy didn't buy anything at the
I
California
did
sale,
not
though.
buy
Thank
anything.
goodness for the rest of us that have no money.
I've kind of had rough luck at that sale. So we took a pass. We did buy 3 yearlings, Michelle. I don't know if we were on to talk about that.
I don't think this is like our first show after that, so
Yeah,
I don't think so.
we bought a Caravaggio colt.
Mhm.
We bought a Not This Time filly, and we bought an Omaha Beach filly. So there you go.
I really liked your Omaha Beach filly.
You did.
I did, actually.
And then we named her South Bay. I
I
like that.
saw.
And I can't believe you didn't comment on the other filly's name because you don't like those super creative wild names.
What name was it?
So she's by Not This Time, and the dam is Sam I Am. So we named her Not With a Fox.
I don't get it.
You don't get it? Sam I Am, green eggs and ham.
Yeah, but
I
not with
will
a
not eat
fox,
them.
not
I
with a
will not
will
eat
not
them
eat
in a
it in a
box. I will
box.
not eat them with a fox. I will not eat them in a trio. You
Well,
cannot make
hold on,
me.
I'm gonna bring in Rotundo to see if he knows that. He's got
Okay.
a younger child
All
than
right.
me.
Hello. What's up, my man? Retro
Did you
411.
get that reference?
Wait,
What-
did you understand that reference?
Well, when you started explaining it, I did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Well, it takes a little. I mean, I
Eh.
like it. Well,
What
Michelle
was
also
your
hated.
Caravaggio's name? I remember seeing it, but I don't remember it.
His name is Sacred Light because of the painter and the dam, and because of Caravaggio, Sacred Light. Sounds like a Judd Munt name. We like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that name. But
Yeah.
the Omaha Beach is my favorite horse that you bought.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. P. Rotondo, look at you. Now, is the hair ready for Saturday? Is this the look?
Ready to go.
Okay, like
what about the shoes?
What shoes will you be wearing?
These cold sins. Look at these bad boys.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, what are those called? I mean, they're Nike.
Cool. No, they're fake Nike. So it's a big thing. Tim Yakteen, who I barely know, obviously.
I love Tim.
He sees me today. He goes, you have those shoes? He's like, that guy's getting sued by Nike. He was supposed to be a designer, but I'm like, I had no idea.
No,
and Tim knows all of this. I had no idea that Tim was such a fashionista.
Yeah, I mean, he stopped me to talk to me about my sneakers and told me the whole story about them.
Now, when we go to Preakness, you're usually in some type of yellow and black. Does California Crown Day have a color?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's basically the color of Santa Anita, right? It's got that like greenish,
right,
and like, you know, I don't want to say yellow, but it's like a yellowy, you know, logo. It's very retro. Right. I looked for a suit to match it, but it didn't get there.
You didn't get there.
Billy's hat actually, it could be like a mix
like a
between like our green and the beige.
Little olive. Pete, look, we Michelle and I just talked about it a little bit. We wanted to talk to you today to kind of tell us about how this all came together, the concept, and you were probably involved in it, I imagine.
Well, no, I mean, I wasn't involved in coming up with it per se. Right now, I'm involved in trying to execute it, I would say. But look, it's pretty simple if you really think about it. Pegasus, Miami. It's been around since 2017. It's obviously got a great spot now on the racing calendar. It is now got a huge spot in the lifestyle calendar in Miami, built from scratch.
Yeah.
Really, it's only 7 years old. It feels like it's been around much longer, but it's only 7 years old. So the idea, of course, at the top, Belinda Stronach and her team were like, well, we want to bring Pegasus west, and let's try to plan that out. So then at that point, that was the idea, that was the push, that was the message. And Belinda's good friends with a guy named John Terzian, who runs. Well, there you go.
I mean, he's in my fantasy football league.
Is he really?
He is?
Yeah, he's good friends with my brother. Yeah, I love Terz.
All right. Well, then this is everything. So Delilah is here, the Delilah Lounge. Chef Evan Funky's gonna, he'll be here. So the whole vibe is gonna be set by Hwood Group, which of course is John Terzian's company. So just like in Miami, where the team works with David Grutman and his crew, it's like this is the West Coast version. So that's where it started. Let's have an event. Started there. Then they sat down with the racing folks, like Aiden and his whole crew, and obviously I'm part of that. And the idea was, all right, let's elevate some purses. They basically kind of mirror what happens at Pegasus.
Sure.
There's a turf race, there's 2 turf races, a Pegasus, 2 turf races, whatever. So elevate that, obviously change the Awesome Again to the quote California Crown,
right.
And put more money on there. And then so it started there. And at the end of the day, first is funding the purses on the deck.
Yeah. And that's really
actually a net positive, if you do the math, $600,000 to the purse account. So
yeah, I think that's a really important thing to bring up that not a lot of people realize, because you see a lot of kind of pushback on social media, like, oh, we have this $1 million race, but we're cutting overnight purses. This is actually a big plus because Stronach is covering, or the first group is covering, the purse money for the day. That means all the money that the purse account would have had to pay out into those stakes now gets to return to overnight. So it's a huge positive for the purse accounts.
And if you, again, and the math is a net 600,000. So look at it that way. So we're covering the purses, and then the party and the vibe is a partner with John Terzian. So this is a great thing for California racing. It's a great thing for Santa Anita. It's year one. I mean, it's just the first year, and something new, and we're going for it. So I'm obviously very excited.
Yeah, no, you see, and listen, everybody's excited. My lone concern is that, Miami has that scene. And of course, LA has a scene, but the scene isn't generally in Arcadia, California. Right. Is there some concern about, bringing the people here or getting them here? Because it's not necessarily like when you have Breeders' Cup, right, you get the race trackers, and you get the race trackers from all over the country. For this day in particular, it's primarily going to be people from Southern California, I imagine. Is that what you're expecting?
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's, again, to your fantasy football compadre, it's part of him and his team are going to bring that crowd. And again, they're not going to be full of that crowd's not going to be all over the grandstand. That crowd's going to be in the Delilah Lounge, which is basically, if you're looking at the track, it's right to the right of the winner's circle. There's a stage already been built up there. The performances are going to happen, the musical performances all day, right on track. Like next to the rail.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it's gonna be something like you've never seen. I mean, it's wild.
I talked to Nick. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I talked to Nick Luck about, like the racing in Hong Kong, and he's like, this is what they do in Hong Kong, right? So they'll have the music and the action during the races. Pegasus, it's more of like an after party now. They do something in between a little bit, but this is gonna be, in the middle of it, and of course the DJs will stay. And you'll have an after party, but it'll be all really.
It's something that we talk about a lot, right? Like, what do you do in between the races? So we are now giving you something to do in between the races, right?
That was my kind of question, Michelle. Let me just jump in because I want to add some. Are there tickets still available? Can anybody go to that area? What do you need to do to get into this kind of nightclub scene?
Well, yeah, go to CaliforniaCrown.com.
Okay.
And the tickets are still on sale. So the GA, it's GA. It'll be on sale throughout. You can still walk up and pay. Then there's areas called Wally's and Funky. And you could buy into them. It's part of the VIP compound, as they call it. And then you have access to that whole cool area. I mean, and then you can see the show also from over there. You'll be able to hear it and see it from other parts of the track as well. But if you're in that area, you could watch. You'll feel like you're in the vibe.
That's really cool. It's a fun thing. What are you asking the racing community? How are you asking the racing community to support this day?
Bet. So, I mean, we came up with a whole new menu of bets.
This is what I want to talk about. Because we're not only having something for non-racing people. I love that you're drinking an L81, by the way. We have a huge menu of stuff for our racing people, including the return of the $2 pick six.
Yep. So the autumn menu at Santa Anita has the $2 pick six. It's got the late pick 3 is now a $3 bet, minimum 15% take every day.
Good.
$5 daily double on the last 2, minimum 15% take. So that's like the new stuff. As far as California Crown centric, there's going to be an all stakes pick 5, $1 minimum, 15% take. And then a series of 2-day bets, because on Sundays, the Santa Anita Sprint Championship and the Zenyatta. So we're going to connect. We're going to do a pick 6, 15% take, $1. For all graded stakes. So the 4 graded stakes into those 2. Daily doubles between the Eddie D and the Sprint Championship, a daily double between the California Crown and the Zenyatta. I'll pick an all stakes pick 4 as well. $1. So all 15% take.
This is like Derby Day. I mean, it's like Oaks and Derby Day for
except the takeout's better.
Except the takeout's better, which I think is amazing. Now you say the take. Listen, I want to dumb this down a little bit because people listen to our show and they're not necessarily understanding why that's so important. That 15%. Normally, can you just explain it to us why that takeout's so important, Pete?
Well, I mean, for the gambler, it's important because, look, if you like to bet sports, you're dealing with, in this day and age, 10% or less, right? Depending on where you bet, and you can find all these bonuses and whatever. So the idea is to be competitive in that sports betting landscape, you got to bring the take down. So 15% take is, at this point, the way this game is built, and with all these fees and host fees and all this stuff that has to go, that just gets really in the weeds. That's as kind of, as low as you could go at the moment. You could go, sometimes you see 12% here and there. Some people experiment with less than that. Yeah. But as far as to get all the ADWs to take your bet and whatever, 15 is like the sweet spot at like doing the right thing, I think, at this point for the horse players. So,
and to compare, most wagers would have anywhere from a 20 to 32% takeout. So talking about how low it is, that this is a significantly lower number than you would normally play.
Yeah, exactly. So, and again, for this, and the permanent menu, or at least for the autumn, a lot of those bets are all 15%, the new ones. And we'll go from there. We'll see how it goes. Plus, there's a handicapping tournament, right? $6,000 buy-in, which is obviously for the hardcore guys. But, the stretch run suites, right next to the boss's office over there, that's where they're going to have the tournament. So open bar, food, hosted, take $5,000 bonus, like taking care of the horse players right over there who are in the tournament as well.
Which is always important. One of the questions I have, Pete, and this will be one of the, we've given you some softballs. I'm going to give you a curveball here.
Sure.
Just remember that's Billy saying it, not me. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Well, Michelle works for the company, so I don't. But but this is actually a good question. It's a thought-provoking question. I hope you're going to have a lot of people that probably have never been to Santa Anita before, and they're going to be there for the whole day with this amazing experience. How do we capture that audience and make sure that they come back again?
Well, I think that's the deal, to partner up with John Terzian and his crew. This is what they did in Miami. This is what they did with Grutman. The idea is, so these people show up, we have to show them a good time, right?
Yep.
And just so you know, when you're in that VIP area, at every table, there's going to be a wagering tablet. So those people don't even have to get up and bet, right? They'll be able to bet right from their tablet. We have people that show them how to do it. We brought in, playing the role of Michelle Yu and Zoe Cadman at the Pegasus.
That's tough.
No, it's impossible. But they're usually on stage handicapping for the Pegasus crowd. But we brought in Samantha Perry from Gulfstream and Callie Francois from Maryland to basically help them make their bets and do a little handicapping in between the music and all the craziness. So the bottom line is they're going to be there. They're going to have a great time. Hopefully, we assume so, right? Yeah. And they're going to say, well, I want to come back. And then that's when they got to turn us over to them. So then my thing would be, we bring them into the suites, right? The next logical step for these people would be come with their friends on one day at the races and then have it go from there. And then really teach them how this game works. But you have to get them here.
Yep.
They're not going to come just out of osmosis. They're going to just show up.
No, osmosis is not going to work. Well, you talked about handicapping. There is a great handicapper that you know very well, and her name is Wife.
Yeah, she's here.
And she's here. No, listen, I love Turs, but I'm more excited to see Shona and do a pick 5 because we rocked it at Preakness. So is she prepared? I mean, has she been studying or?
No, she has not. She has the women's summit tomorrow, Thursday. So she's been busy with that. But as soon as that thing ends tomorrow, she's got nothing to do.
During it, she's going to be sitting in the back, like they're going to be like, I love women and this is what we do. And Shona's going to be like on her thing looking for her horses.
And she's coming off a layoff because she hasn't made a bet since Saratoga. So she's ready to fight.
Do you give her permission to load up the Express Bet account?
Permission?
Yeah, she doesn't need permission from me. No.
Not from me. I may need permission. That commute is definitely not that way. No.
It is a great series of races, and I don't know if you're prepared to talk about it, but I mean, why don't we? I mean, Michelle, can we talk a little bit about the races that are going on Saturday?
Sure.
It's an awesome lineup.
I was Monday night in Saratoga. I was before I got on the plane Tuesday morning. I was with Saul Kuman. We went to. It's a long story how it all happened, but wound up at Post Malone at SPAC.
He told me.
Yeah,
I talked to him.
Yeah, long story short, he said he's got 9 horses. He's got pieces of 9 horses.
Yes. Yeah, he's very excited. He said Post Malone. We're going to go off the air and talk about some of the Post Malone stories.
Yeah, I bet.
All right, Michelle, where do we start? Like, what's the first kind of big race? Wait, I'm going to pull
it
up.
The first big race that day of the graded stakes is going to be the John Henry Turf Classic.
Okay.
And
the late pick 4. That's a great idea.
Did we kick off the late pick 4?
Yeah, this is late pick 4.
Yes, late pick 4.
Last 4 races. So
there's
John
4
Henry.
graded stakes on Saturday, right? There's the John Henry, the Eddie D, the California Crown, and the City of Hope Mile. If you go a little bit before that, race 5 though is the Unzip Me, and it is so good on paper. I mean, it's a super competitive race. It was an oversubscribed field, so it's going to be a challenging race if you want to, include that as well. But just looking at the 4 graded stakes, it does kick off with the 1.25 mile race, and obviously, Billy, you know all about this race.
I know a lot about this race, but I want to hear from Pete before I give my 2 cents. I want to hear Pete's
thought. The best was when so Billy and the team won on Preakness Day.
That's right, the dinner party.
Balnikov, right? Although I realized there was such a backstory on how the horse got there, and I had made them aware that this was a bonus. And all. Long story short, I found all this out on Monday as well. The horse wins, and then we're like, Billy, you're alive for $2.5 million first Grand Prix bonus. Like if you win this race and then go to Pegasus, you can win $2.5 million on races you'll probably be running in. And I get back, he doesn't like Santa Anita. I was like, Santa Anita.
He's 0 for 8 at Santa Anita.
Yeah, well, he's 1 for 7 at Del Mar. I mean, what do you
Here, I'm going to give you some scoop on Balnikov for anybody listening. The horse is in the best shape of his life. He does. If you look back at his races at Santa Anita, there's also he's a new horse going longer. We had tried him down the hill, we tried him a mile, and the last 2 races at a mile and an eighth and a mile and 3 at Del Mar were 2 of his best races of his life. He gets Flavien Prat. The only derailment I see, there's 2 things. One, there's still not a ton of pace in there for him to run into. The other thing is the extreme outside post 11, because they do start on the hill. So he, unless Flav just immediately tucks him in, which he probably will do because we're probably going to be last, he will lose a little ground there. Those are the 2 things. But other than that, I see no reason why Balnikov couldn't win this race. Pete?
Yeah, no, and again, when you say he's 0 for 8, he lost by a nose.
Right.
And he mostly ran second twice. So he could be easily 2 for 8, and then we wouldn't even have this discussion.
That's true. But with the numbers are the numbers. Sheets don't lie.
Sheets don't lie.
Oh, sheets don't lie.
I lost
Our other entry, Gold Phoenix, comes off a smashing win in the Del Mar Handicap. That's his race. He won it 3 straight times. I have a feeling he might. The morning line odds aren't out, but by the time I have a feeling he might be the morning line favorite in there. He's also in great form. He drew 9. Kyle Frey is going to have to get him inside. Kyle loves this horse, knows him really well. And, but he too, this is a prep. He's already in the Breeders' Cup. So we almost didn't run in this race. But he trained so well the other day. We're like, it's, hey, Santa Anita and first put up the $750,000 purse. Why not take a shot?
Exactly. Well, right. Exactly. Why not? I mean, again, little race, it's still 5 weeks to the Breeders' Cup. Absolutely. I know a lot of folks out there don't like to run anymore and they like to train.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. All right. I'm going to throw it to you guys. All right, Michelle and Pete, you can't take Gold Phoenix or Balnikov. Who wins this race?
Well, I do actually like Gold Phoenix on top, but my second place horse is Dicey Mochara.
Dicey Mochara ran 2 bang-up races down at Del Mar. I think he ran second in both the Eddie Reed and the Del Mar Handicap. Finally coming around. This is his distance. And without a lot of speed, he's going to be up on the lead somewhere. So,
well, I think that I could see Cabo Spirit being on the lead, and I could see 7 Wonders maybe wanting to be involved, but that just leaves Dicey Mochara with a nice catbird seat, sitting and watching, and he like you say, he likes to be close. So, you take GFP out of there, and I think that if you took him out, Dicey Mochara would be your winner. But I like Gold Phoenix on top.
Okay, Pete.
Well, again, I listen sometimes, and I was told one horse this week, and it's Divine. I don't know how to say it, but
Divine Propos.
Divine Propos.
Oh, I like it.
No way.
That's Phil D'Amato's 4th entrant. He also has Rock Emperor, Balnikov, and Gold Phoenix. He'll probably be the highest priced horse in there. He's owned in part by Matakit and Bill Strauss, who's a very good friend of the show. And what I like about him is his numbers are pretty fast. They compare favorably with these horses. He had a really rough trip 2 back. He was really wide that day. Came back with an authoritative win in a 2 other than. This will be a class test for him, but he might be the now horse. He did draw inside, and he figures to get a pretty good trip from in there. So I don't think as a price play, I wouldn't leave him off your ticket. And Phil D'Amato is known for going 1, 2, 3, 4 in races like this. So who knows with Divine Propos.
Yeah. So again, I like a horse that like feels like maybe this turned the corner last time. Now it's. And then they go on a run here, and you're right. The price will be right. Inside post. You won't be too far back.
Nope. I think it's a good case.
Connections obviously are good. Yeah. So
good,
that's probably going.
Good connections. I like that. All right, let's go to the Eddie D, which is 6.5 furlongs down the hill. This was also a purse bump. This is now $750,000. I think this is an excellent field. I could probably make a case for 10 horses in here. Michelle, I'll start with you. Who do you like?
I struggled with this race like you. I could easily make a case for multiple horses. I Haven't quite narrowed it down. I still like First Piece because I think he gets the best trip.
Yeah.
I like Air Force Red, but also, I don't know. There's a lot of other speed in here, and he kind of runs his best when he's on the lead. And if Fast Buck breaks, he's going to be gone.
Yep.
I mean, you have to give Big Invasion a look shipping in because he's got a lot of class, and he was second in the Breeders' Cup last year here. But also, he's not like a win machine, and
Yeah. Well,
as
he's
of
won
late,
nine.
he has
He's
struggled
like
to.
9 of 20 starts. So I
Yeah,
mean,
but that's because he won like all of these little like stakes, like this block of little stakes, right?
right.
And that was back in 2022. So
Okay.
since then, he's never strung together victories.
Fair enough.
So you have to take that with a grain of salt as horses mature and they face better horses. All of those were like little overnight stakes.
Yep. Okay. Pete.
Well, I'll give you a little. So early August, Jody, Bella Gregory, me, and Megan Werneman, who works with us now, used to work at the Breeders' Cup. We're at Saratoga, and we went on a little backside tour to go talk California Crown with some of the horsemen, make them aware of what was going on. Long story short, we run into Miguel Clement, Christoph's son. So we explain what's going on. He, without even a 1 second of a hesitation, he's like, "Big Invasion, we're there. Market there. I can't run it." He goes, "This horse doesn't want to run on a wet turf.
Yeah.
I need to find firm ground. Ran big at Santa Anita last year. Loves the place. We're coming."
Yeah.
All right.
So that was like
Big Invasion. I like Big Invasion too. I don't think I'm going too crazy away from you guys. I like Big Invasion. I like Pratt jumping aboard. He knows the downhill.
That's
I like
the key, right? Pratt getting on.
also outside. And I think he makes a big run late outside, or if Pratt wants to save ground. I have to say for Michelle, I think First Piece comes out of 2 really good races. The Wicker, he ran awesome that day. He might have.
Then he ran crappy behind Conclude.
Well, yeah, it looked like he kind of bounced. I'm not crazy about the ride that Mike Smith gave him that day. Kind of really never got him involved. Let Conclude just run around. But Conclude, as we know, is a nice horse. I think he's going to be tough on Saturday. We're going to get to him in a minute. And I think the company he's keeping has tough. I think on the inside, Johnny Padres, give him a look, and he's probably going to be a little bit of a price. He's 4 for 19 at Santa Anita. He's won down the hill. He gets Rispoli, and he's going to come flying late. Give him a look in as a long shot, I would say.
And let me just throw one horse out that I did jump off the page at a bomb. I mean, he's going to be a monster price.
We want bombs,
and you got to get creative a little bit. But he's got the back class. He loves down the hill, and you have to throw the last race out completely. Is Noble Reflection? He's got to be 30-1.
Oh, he's going to be a bomb. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of speed. He's so off form, but he
ran a mile off the layoff, and then he ran Kentucky down. So you have to throw those 2 races out.
I think it's
loves Santa Anita, and he's going to be a huge price, and he'll be out there winning.
That's a great idea. That's a great call. You cannot. You can't ever. When people are talking about horses they like, it's really funny when they bring up a long shot. And they give a good reason. You just have to, you take a big black marker and you cross off those 2 races and now see what Noble Reflection is. That's a great handicapping tip for people. And as a fellow handicapper, like, I will never say what a terrible pick that is. I'd rather say it on an even money shot that you give out. What a terrible, why would you give that? No one cares about that. I don't like when TV commentators are giving out even money favorites or 3 to 5 favorites. It just doesn't do anything. So great pick, Pete.
My dad always taught me a lot of good lessons, many bad ones, but one of the good ones was never talk anyone off a long shot. Don't do it. You get nothing.
All right, the race of the day, the $1 million Grade 1 California Crown Stakes, 1 1/8 on the dirt, a field of, 7? Yes, line up here. We'll start with Pete on this one because I'm sure you've studied it and you know the horse is running pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, pace makes the race, right? You would assume they're not going to be flying with Bob having the 2 speeds in there, right? Having said that, I won't like either one of them.
Really?
To bet. National Treasure, I love, he's the house horse, right? He won the Preakness, he won the Pegasus. Love watching him win.
But much like Balnikov, he's never won a race at Santa Anita.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And again, he's had some maybe questionable trips in those, he didn't go to the lead when he was supposed to, whatever. But I'm not betting. I don't bet. I mean, I try to beat
my favorites. We know that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Muth, I think, he's fine. He doesn't get me so excited. I think Senior Buscador is sitting on a monster race, right? I love the move. That's old school. You go 7 furlongs.
Give him the press.
And then go stretch out. Like, they don't do
Yeah.
that anymore, right? I love that. I think he said, well, the pace is the key. Will there be enough? I don't know. Newgate, again, you guys know better body language, but that horse looks like a monster out here.
He is a beast. Yeah, we lost to him when he won the Santa Anita handicap that day, and he was who we beat him with Newgrange in the San Pasquale, and he's a beautiful horse coming off obvious the layoff, gets Johnny V. Don't you wish you could just give Baffert just like a little bit of true serum and then say, okay, Bob, tell us what the strategy is and who you like best. Right. That would be phenomenal. Michelle, who are you leaning towards in the California Crown, the first ever? I keep calling it the California Chrome. Is that bad?
No, it's understandable because you're old and this is what happens.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. 100% true. 100% true.
Wait,
I like Senior Buscador.
You like Senior Buscador too? Wow. Okay. All right. I'll you know what? I would go with the up and comer. I'm gonna go with Muth. I thought he was really impressive in the shared belief, even though he didn't really beat much. I think he probably needed that race. I like the 3-year-old angle at this time of the year. He's always been obviously such high hopes for him, running second the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, winning the San Vicente, winning the Arkansas Derby, and then obviously went wrong before the Kentucky Derby. I think he would have been tough in the Kentucky Derby. I like 3-year-olds this time of year coming up, even though he's facing older for the first time. Final race on the card. And this, I got to say, might be the race of the day. And this is not a boosted race. It's the Grade 2 City of Hope Mile. It's $200,000. It's a Breeders' Cup win and you're in race. The first 18 finishers from the Del Mar Mile come in, but they all have to beat Johannes, who has proved himself this year to be the top turf horse in Southern California. I'm not afraid to admit it. I've seen this horse in action. He has buried us, I think, every race we've been in this year. He's awesome. Michelle, is Johannes going to get it done again?
I think Johannes is the horse to be. I think Johannes could win the Breeders' Cup. So I'm putting Johannes on top. And then I also love Conclude, you know that. And then I'm really interested to see Tricari out here.
Yeah, interesting. Pete, Tricari comes in for Graham Motion off a series of really good races. He faces older for the first time, and that's a challenge. I think it's, even though I just said 3-year-olds, I think it's different with dirt 3-year-olds than it is grass 3-year-olds for whatever reason. I can't really explain it.
Yeah, I mean, Johannes, obviously, she's freaky. 5 for 5 at Santa Anita, right? That's the horse barely loses anyway. I mean, Trickery, I love the idea of the shipping in, obviously, Motion.
Wait, is it Trickery? It's not Tricari?
It's Trickery.
I like it even better now.
It's Trickery. I know. I double checked that one. Yeah, it's Trickery. So I think if you're going to try to beat Johannes, that's the one you got to take the shot with. Yeah. He's the new face, and he's a 3-year-old, as you know. He get better, and I think he'd be the one. But it's interesting because you would look at these pick 5. That race is hooked into the Coast to Coast pick 5, which is back. Yeah. It's hooked into the Zoll Stakes pick 5. It's hooked into the pick 6. It's hooked into everything. So it's either do you single, or don't you single, right?
Yeah, Johannes will be singled on a lot of tickets, I bet. As for me, I would probably do something like single him on one ticket and kind of boost that ticket and use some others. Listen, I love Conclude. He's our horse. He ran so good in the Del Mar Mile, and I warn people that he could get a similar trip in here. There's no blazers in here. He's on the outside, which a lot of times going a mile, you don't want to be on the outside because you lose ground. In the case of Conclude, with not much speed inside of him, and Michelle, tell me if you think I'm crazy, but I think Hector if he breaks good and he goes, by the time they hit that first turn, he's going to be able to get over and probably make the lead. And I don't think he's going to have to go, 22:45 in here to make the lead. And this horse, trust me when I tell you, and this is a Pete move, but we have inside information. Coming off the bench, we never should have run him in the Shoemaker Mile. He wasn't ready to go. We tried to teach him to rate. It was just a horrible job by the connections that day. Then in the Wicker, if you go back and watch that race, he had a terrible start for whatever reason. He kind of missed the break, and then another horse came right out front of him. His PPs, he was 9th by 15 lengths. That's just not his style. Last time you saw the real conclude. You saw him go to the lead. You saw him pin his ears back when they turn for home. He's not a horse that switches leads back and forth. He kind of Hector Barrios does this. He does it with Ice Cream, You Scream. He does it with Conclude. He lets the horse just go. And I think he's a challenge to Johannes in here. Wouldn't be surprised to put Johannes in chase mode for the first time, where he really has to run down someone who's on an easier lead than normal. I don't think they're going to be out there ding donging. Is that a too high of a analysis? Am I on crack?
No.
Okay.
Actually, tomorrow morning, are you going to be at the track?
I'm not going to be at the track. I'm flying home. I'm in Kentucky right now, and I'm flying home tomorrow morning.
I would love to get that as a piece, because we're showing our races in Hong Kong.
Oh.
And we're doing like a little like simulcast for them.
I can't speak that though. I speak only I can't speak Spanish.
Well, in Hong Kong, they don't speak Spanish in Hong Kong.
That was a line from Anchorman. What's wrong with you two? Am I making the jokes too old?
I'm sorry, you're right. No, they're not too old. I should have got that one.
All right, yeah, I should have gotten that one. All right, Pete Rotondo, big day. I want to say from all of us in the racing industry, we appreciate what Belinda and First are doing here. Hopefully we'll get a lot of support from the industry. We'll be out there. I know you'll be out there. Please say hi to your wife. Tell her to start studying. And if there's anything else, people can still get tickets going where?
CaliforniaCrown.com.
I mean, Sananita.
Sorry.
Yeah. But no, California Crown, sure.
And if you buy the tickets for that VIP area, you could still, there'll be like a place you can go to the paddock and watch. You can go back in there. You can.
And there's right on the apron. There's this thing called Exacta Eats.
Okay.
And basically all these pop-up restaurants from LA and even Manhattan, they're bringing in Prince Street Pizza.
Wow.
Which is really good. Yeah. No, the food level is so out of control Saturday. I don't even, just don't eat. Maybe.
So don't eat till we get there. Okay.
And maybe get there early too, and like enjoy the races. The rest of the racing card is excellent. So don't just come for the last 4 races. Get there early.
And I love the way they do it. We do it. Whatever. 12:30 post. Last race is 5:15. Every 32 minutes we're having a race. It's not like those big days where they just drag. We're going 10 races.
We're going. Bang. Let's have a banger. Thank you, Pete.
All right. Thank you.
See you, buddy. See you Saturday.
Bye.
All right. Pete Rotondo here on the Owner's Box. Michelle, always fun to talk to Pete. We did not plan to go through the races, but I thought it was very good. Our audience might like that.
And he did mention the Horse Racing Women's Summit. That's why Shona's out here. It is a really big deal for the women in our industry and also women that are not in our industry. It's something that was kind of the brainchild of Stephanie Horonis, we've had on the show before as well, also a member of the TOC. And she kind of had this little brainchild, and it started off 2 or 3 years ago, and it's grown to not only be this kind of core group of the Horse Racing Women's Summit, but they also do little pop-ups at Keeneland and at Saratoga and, all the big racing events. So if you can't travel for it and then we come to your area, it's really good. So tonight there's like a little cocktail hour. And then tomorrow we have, they have the actual summit itself, which I believe you can still get a ticket to. And then on Friday, there's going to be breakfast with the works. So Zoe and I are going to host some of the works, and then we're going to do a backside tour. And then there's a handicapping contest during the day as well.
Amazing. Did you like Pete's little gold necklace? Is that new? Did you ever notice that before? Is that something I need to do? Do I need like a little chain or something?
No.
I don't.
If you did a chain, it'd have to be like black.
Like a black chain. Okay.
Yeah. Or like black or like a silver. I don't think you can do gold.
All right. Well, next week we will have a complete recap of the California Crown. We have all the baby races coming up at Santa Anita the following week, which should be like another amazing weekend, plus the Rodeo Drive. You like
what do you got in there?
I don't have anybody yet. Maybe. 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 We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for everybody for listening. We appreciate it. Pete Rotondo, you're the man. See you Saturday.